Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Sankarshan, Nitai, Prabhu ji, Dandat Pranams. You are on mute, Prabhu. Could you please unmute?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, am I audible now?
Yes, Prabhu ji.
Okay. So, Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, Prabhu, and all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, devotees.
So,
Hare Krishna, devotees. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu ji. And Prabhu will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 23rd chapter, titled Pṛthu Maharaj Going Back to Home, verses 33 and 34. Over to you, Prabhu ji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare. So, Prabhu, I think there is some issue with my laptop, so I have connected from mobile. Okay. So, let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah, Prabhu, you are able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu ji.
Okay, right. Yeah. So let me open that.
If it is just verses, I can share, Prabhu ji.
It's verses along with some other links also, Prabhu. So that is why I want.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, sorry. 30. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from 4th canto, 23rd chapter, verse number 33. Trikritva idamakarnya naro nari adhavadhruta apraja suprajatamo nirdhano dhanavattamaha. Trikritva idamakarnya naro nari adhavadhruta apraja suprajatamo. Narunarya adhavarta apraja suprajatamo nirdhano dhanavattamaha. Prabhu, is my screen visible and audible? Prabhu, everything?
Screen is visible, Prabhuji, but in between there was silence, I think.
Yeah. Okay. But the video and audio is clear, right?
Video is stopped, Prabhuji, because you are sharing the screen from mobile.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Prabhu, then I can do one thing, Prabhu. You can only share. I can send the links, Prabhu, 2-3 links. You can share from your screen, Prabhu. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. You can put it in the this chat box. I will open.
Yes. Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Let me. Yeah. Prabhu, I have sent Prabhu. Okay, I have sent in the WhatsApp. Okay, in the this one I will set chat. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. I have just sent Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. As far as I will open. In the meantime, you can continue, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, you can continue now. Hare Krishna, looks like some internet issue. Prabhu will join back.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare.
Yes, Prabhu, you can. You can unmute now, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Can you please share, Prabhuji? Yeah. You can share the first verse, and then we'll go to the links later.
Sure, Prabhu.
Yeah. So sorry for that inconvenience for a moment. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. So Trikritvaidamakarnya Naro Naryadhavadruta Apraja Suprajatamo Nirdhano Dhanavattamaha. So thrice Kritva, repeating idam, this, Akarnya, hearing, Naraha, man, Nari, woman, Athava, or Adruta, in great respect, Aprajaha, one who has no children, Suprajatamaha, surrounded by many children, Nirdhanaha, without any money, Dhanavat, rich, Tamaha, the greatest. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It does not matter whether one is a man or woman. Anyone who, with great respect, hears this narration of Mahārāja Pṛthu will become the parent of many children without children, and will become the richest if without money. Materialistic persons who are very fond of money and great families worship different demigods to attain their desires, especially Goddess Durga, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. Such materialistic persons are called Shri Aishwarya Prajepsavaha. Shri means beauty, Aishwarya means riches, Praja means children, and Ipsavaha means desiring. As described in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, one has to worship various demigods for different types of benedictions. However, here it is indicated that simply by hearing of the life and character of Mahārāja Pṛthu, one can have both riches and children in enormous quantities. One simply has to read and understand the history of the life and activities of Mahārāja Pṛthu. It is advised that one read them at least 3 times. Those who are materially afflicted will so benefit by hearing of the Supreme Lord and His devotees that they do not go to any demigod. the word Suprajatamaha, surrounded by many children, is very significant in this verse. For one may have many children, but may not have any qualified children. Here, however, it is stated Suprajatamaha, that all the children thus attained would be qualified in education, wealth, beauty, and strength. Everything is complete. Om Timirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Syam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namni Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Kadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurashe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Stute Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I would like to welcome all the devotees for today's morning Bhagavatam class. So I would like to seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas so that I can do justice to this service and for my own purification. Yeah. So this verse comes in the chapter Mahārāja Pṛthu going back home, back to Godhead. So the life of Mahārāja Pṛthu is so exemplary. From last few, I think almost 6-7 chapters, we have discussed the life of Pṛthu Mahārāja is there. So in the 4th canto, if you see, there are 4 sections are there. The first section is basically about the Daksha Prajapati Yajna. So the yajna performed by Maharaj Daksha. So there is a very vital lesson that if somebody offends a Vaishnava, then no matter how big or how elaborate the worship may be or the yajna may be, that cannot yield the proper. That was the lesson. And in the second portion of the 4th canto, we have discussed about Dhruva Charitra. Dhruva Charitra was there. The elaborate descriptions about how Dhruva Maharaj went to forest and attained the darshan of the Lord. After that, how he ruled the kingdom nicely, and then how he fought with yakshas. All the details were there. And then in the 3rd portion, the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. That is basically Maharaj Anga, Vena, and Pṛthu Maharaj. This particular section comes in the 3rd portion of the 4th canto. And then in the next, the last portion of the 4th canto is about the Prachetas. So how the Prachetas, what are their activities, all these details were discussed in the 4th portion. So this verse is spoken by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura after speaking about the complete Charitra of Pṛthu Maharaj. So this is called Phala. What is that? Yeah, that's what Falashruti, yes, Falashruti. Yeah. So what happens when somebody hears about the great activities of the devotees and the Lord? So this is called Falashruti. So in this world, people actually are kind of looking for a one-stop solution for all the problems. They want one solution for everything. Actually, indeed, there is one solution is there, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So when somebody really reads it, hears it with great submission and eagerness, then all the problems in the life will automatically be adjusted. So that's what we have heard in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto also. Shrunvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto hi Abhadrani Vidhunoti Suhrutsada. So somebody is hearing the pastimes of Krishna. Swakatha. Swakatha means Lord's own pastimes. When Lord sees within the heart, somebody is hearing his own pastimes with so much of attention and then so much of eagerness, then Lord will clear the heart with all the abhadra. Abhadra means the desire for the material enjoyment, desire to lord it over the matter. That particular desire Lord will remove, and then all the abhadras, whatever is troublesome to the heart, will be removed. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. So nityam bhagavata sevaya, if somebody regularly hears Srimad Bhagavatam, recites Srimad Bhagavatam, then all that is troublesome to the heart will automatically be vanquished. Most of them will automatically be removed. And then what happens is Naistiki Bhakti will develop in the heart. And the same thing we have seen in multiple, because in the Kali Yuga Jivas, they need a constant reaffirmation of the priorities in life, because there are so much millions of distractions everywhere all through. So it is actually required again and again. One needs to hear the message of Srimad Bhagavatam in order to confirm what is required, what is not required in the life. That confirmation of the priorities is required. So, in fact, the very second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam tells that there is no other literature required other than Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said, Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam sita vedyam vastava matra vastu shivadam tapatrayo mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Parairishvaraha Sadyo Hrudyavarudyate Krutivi Sushrushubi Takshanat. So this verse tells that at the very outset of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the cheating religions, Kaitava Dharma, is kicked out. Why? Because they're all giving the substandard realization, substandard process. Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. And this literature is meant for the nirmatsaranam satam, those who are free of envy. Then so we may think that, oh, we are not I'm not qualified because I have a lot of envy and lot of things. No, there is another shloka in Bhagavatam which tells that no, everybody can read Srimad Bhagavatam, everybody can relate to Srimad Bhagavatam. So coming back to the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastava matra vastu shivanam tapatrayor mula. The real vastava vastu, the one thing that all the people are life after life searching, is actually available in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Sri Krishna. So Lord Sri Krishna is the real Vastava Vastu of Srimad Bhagavatam, and everybody is life after life searching for the same personality. Vedyam Vastava Matra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mulmum. That it is so auspicious that just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, everything will become auspicious. So, I mean, in the traditional sense, one may have to perform so many sacrifices, austerities, so many things, giving charity, and all these things are required. But in Kali Yuga, just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, that's all that's required. That's more than sufficient to invoke all the auspiciousness and blessings. Shivadam Tapatrayon Moolanam. And we've got three tapatrayas. What are they? That is Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Janma Mrityu Jara. All these things, they all will be completely uprooted. Unmoolanam, Tapatrayon Moolanam, will just by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam. वेद्यं वास्तवमत्रोऽस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः. Srimad Bhagavatam is compiled by the great Muni, Mahamuni, that is Vyasadeva. And Kimva Parayirishwara, what is the use of, what is the need of any other literature apart from Srimad Bhagavatam? So somebody was telling, I think one of the sannyasis in ISKCON, he was telling that even if there is a big storm and all the literature of the world is lost, if Srimad Bhagavatam is there, then there is no loss on it. Because this gives the clue for the humanity of how to become completely happy. So this one book will be more than sufficient. Kimva Parairishwaraha. Sadhyo Hrudyava Rudhyate Prithvi Sushroshubhi Takshana. So as soon as somebody gives an oral reception with this culture of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then very soon Lord will become compact in one's hearts. Sadhyo Hrudyava Rudhi. So Lord will become very compact. So Lord will make his residence in their hearts, like that. So like that we can see so many shlokas, so many references in all over the Bhagavatam, that this is the one thing that's very much sufficient actually. And there is another in the Krishna book preface, if you there is a shloka in Prabhupada writes that Nivrutta Tarshai Rupagiyamana Bhaushadi Shrotra Manobhirama Ka Uttama Shloka Gunanuvada Puman Virajyeta Vina Pashudna. So Prabhupada is telling that Nivrutta Tarshai. So this Bhagavatam is for all classes of people. Nivrutta Tarshai means those who are already realize the self. For them actually this is the very food for them. Nivrutta Tarshe, those who are on the path of Nivrutti, so for them the food is Srimad Bhagavatam only, because they are always discussing about Bhagavatam, about the pastimes of the Lord. So that is one category. And the second category is Upagiyamana Bhavaushadi Shrotrama. Bhavaushadi means those who are practicing devotees. So those who have realized that, yeah, this is my goal of life, and then they have started their process. That is the sadhakas. For them, this is a great medicine, Bhavaushadi. So it actually acts as a great medicine to cure all the abhadra in the heart. So that is the second category. And the third category is actually materialistic people, like Nivritta Tarshe Rupagiyamana Bhavaushadi Chrotra Manobhirama. For the materialistic people, it is actually very appealing. Why? Because a lot of enchanting pastimes are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just for a common materialistic person also, he can just hear about the Krishna's pastimes and they can get enchanted, because so diverse, unique, and very dynamic pastimes are there in Srimad Bhagavatam and in the Puranas. So these three levels of people are very much relevant. Srimad Bhagavatam is very much relevant. But why people cannot take Srimad Bhagavatam very easily is because Puman Virajyeta Vina Pashubhna. Unless they are the killers of their own self, they cannot take Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, they will not be able to take Srimad Bhagavatam because they are the killers of their own self. Why? Because the two meanings Prabhupada tells. One is when somebody is killing animals, then they cannot develop the interest in Srimad Bhagavatam. Or somebody who is completely, ignorant of their self-interest. They just don't know what is really make them happy. That person cannot take Srimad, because they're completely engrossed in the material happiness. They cannot take to spiritual Srimad Bhagavatam. Unless these two categories, it is relevant for all of us, all of the people of the world. So why we are discussing about glories of Srimad Bhagavatam? Because in this Srimad Bhagavatam we have all the Uttama Shloka, all the great personality stories are there, and just by reciting them we get all the benefit. Why? Because in the purport Prabhupada writes that generally people go to the demigods for different boons. Like if somebody wants a good wife, they go to Lord Shiva. Somebody wants a good husband, they go to Katyayani, they go to Uma. Somebody wants a health, they go to Surya Deva. So somebody wants no obstacles in their path, they'll worship Vignesha, like that. So here Prabhupada is telling that it's not required. Why? Because here you get everything. The same thing Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita also, that if a small pond is there, whatever the benefits that one is getting it, the same kind of benefit and much more benefit one gets when somebody approaches the reservoir. It's a big reservoir. So similarly, Krishna can give anything. He can give anything. He has given Dhruva Maharaj the separate planet itself. He has just created and he has given it. So Lord Krishna can give anything. So why to approach anyone for any small thing like that? Prabhupada is telling that there is another verse in Bhagavatam which is a very famous. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So although you don't have any desires or you are full of desires, moksha kama, although you are desiring for liberation, it doesn't matter. One simply has to do the tivrena bhakti yogena, then all the things that's required will automatically be fulfilled. So Prabhupada many times tells that material well-being follows the spiritual well-being. So if somebody is very very well situated in spiritually, the material well-being will automatically be followed. Because Lord gives the intelligence on how to manage the life in such a way that everything will automatically be taken care. So, so the one point here is that one need not go to any other demigod for asking for any benedictions. So one simply has to come to Srimad Bhagavatam, and what happens is that here in the purport, Prabhupada writes that one simply has to read and understand. So, I was hearing Sarvabhauma Prabhu's lecture on this. So he's telling that reading is fine, but what happens is, okay, if I want a lot of money, so I come to this pastime, Pṛthu Maharaj's pastime, and I read it. But what happens is when you try to understand, when one try to understand it, then one will eventually lose the desire for money only. So that is the trick of understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Because that is the difference between approaching the demigods and the Lord. When somebody approaches a demigod, they will fulfill the desire, but only thing is that will not be purified. The desire will not be purified. And the problem with the material desires is they are like a big fire. They keep on growing by supplying the butter into it. So they last something. Once it's fulfilled, they last even more like that. But when the same thing, somebody goes for Lord, what happens is Lord will give that, obviously will give that boon, but before that Lord purifies the desire. So just like we have the case of Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest for a desire of the kingdom better than his great grandfather Brahma. So he did an intense tapasya for 6 months, and then Lord has appeared. And Lord indeed gave the Dhruvaloka, but before that, Lord has actually purified his desire, so much so that Dhruva Maharaj was telling that I don't need anything. Sthanabhilashi tapasya stitoham tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam kachan vichinvan apidivya ratnam swamin kritardosmi varam nayache. So he's telling that, my dear Lord, I came here for want of the land. Sthanabhilashi tapasistitoham tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam. But in return, you have given something very valuable and rare even to the greatest of the demigods to attain. But that is your darshan only, my dear Lord. So that is, so he is actually comparing Kachan which in one apidivya ratnam. I've come here in the search of the broken pieces of glasses. But in return, you have given me a rare diamond of your own darshan. Now, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. I simply want to serve you and please you. So this is the meaning of purifying the desire. So he wanted the kingdom for his own pleasure, but now he wanted that kingdom to serve Krishna. That is why Krishna has given the boon is fulfilled. So Lord gives that boon, but only thing is before that he purifies the desire so that the devotee uses that property in Krishna's service. So this is in a sense this is very safe because it is not becoming binding. So it will be even more, it'll be liberating. It's not even binding. So that is the meaning of going to the Lord. It's very safe. So So we can see here in the purport, Prabhu was telling that there is no need to go to any demigods like that. And also there are Prabhu, you can go little above, Prabhuji, little above to the verse. Yeah. So here there are in the verse you can see uh, five things are very important. One is three. Three means three times. So not just one time or something. Many times it is mentioned that one needs to keep on hearing, because this message is transcendental. One will get a newer and newer realizations by reading the same matter, unlike the mundane matter. So three kritva. So keep on repeating the same thing. We have heard the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he used to hear the Dhruva Charitra and Prahlad Charitra for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So the more one becomes advanced, the more one gets the taste to hear Bhagavatam more and more and more. Although the same topic, but the realizations will be more and more and more. Yeah, that is one important thing. And the second thing is naro nari adha avadruta. So there is no distinction, there is no differentiation. Either man or woman, anybody can perform, anybody can hear Srimad Bhagavatam and get the same benefit. So there is no differentiation basically. If you see some of the Vedic Puranas or some of the Vedic rituals, they are prescribed for only certain sect of people. So just like there is like one Rukmini Kalyanam, there is one kind of chapter is there. So that was prescribed for many of the unmarried girls. So when the unmarried girls, when they read Rukmini Kalyanam and do some rituals, then it is said that they are going to get a suitable husband very soon. But only thing is that Rukmini Kalyan is only for the unmarried girls only. So no other people can, in the sense, it is not prescribed like that. But unlike that kind of different rituals of Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is for everyone. There is no, there is, although it is meant for the Paramahamsas, it is also meant for anybody else. It is meant for everybody. So like that. So there is no differentiation. That is one thing. And the third line, Prabhupada tells that aprajaha su prajatamo. So if somebody doesn't have any children, then they will get a very qualified children. So in the purport also Prabhupada writes, prajatamaha means many children, but if they are not qualified, then what is the use of it? So of course, devotees takes anything, everything in a very very right perspective. Well, just like we have an example of Anga Maharaj. Although Anga Maharaj is such a great Vaishnava and then he is performing his duty so wonderfully, he's got a son Vena, who is a very mischievous person. So he tried to rectify Vena so many ways, but somehow the Vena could not be rectified. So finally, Anga Maharaj one day decided, and he actually thanked the Lord that for giving the son like Vena. Why? Because if there is a very good son, then there is a chance of getting attached to the son. Now I don't have any attachment to my son. So thank you so much, my dear Lord, for giving a son like this. And then he left to the forest. So of course, devotees take in a very right perspective, because devotees are constantly being guided by Lord within the heart and the senior Vaishnavas. So, but here Prabhupada is telling that although one may have many children, but if they are not qualified, then there is there is no much use. So here he's telling that suprajatamaho means one will actually get a very qualified children when somebody reads Pṛthu Charitra. Nirdhano dhanavattamaha. If somebody is desiring for wealth, they will become dhanavattamaha, that is richest, not just rich or richer or richest. So there are three levels, right? So there is guhya, guhyatara, guhyatama. Guhya means confidential. Guhyatara means more confidential. Guhyatama means most confidential. Similarly, dhanavat, dhanavattara, dhanavattama. So he'll become very great in riches like that. So yeah, Prabhu, can you open? So actually, I was just referring to some of the references where Prabhupada is telling about. We all know hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is the essential must and should. So when I actually gone through these links, there are so many places Prabhupada was really, stressing on this one point. So Prabhu, can you go little down, Prabhu? Down. Yeah. So you see this in fourth canto also Prabhupada is telling that, my dear Vidura, I have summarily explained the cause of devastation. One who hears this description 3 times attains piety and washes sinful contamination from soul. One can fulfill desires for wealth, reputation, and increases duration of life. Yeah, can you go little above, Prabhu? Little below. Yeah. So in the so you see, anyone who hears this narration of Dhruva Maharaj acquires exalted qualities. No, down, Prabhu, down. 4:12:47. 4:12:47. Yeah, even 4:12:46 is also fine. Anyone who hears the narration of Dhruva Maharaj and who repeatedly tries with faith and devotion to understand his pure character attains the pure devotional platform and execute pure devotional service. By such activities, one can diminish the threefold miserable condition of material life. So, I mean, the same Falashruti, it's again and again it's been repeated. Now, if you see down, anyone who hears this narration of Dhruva Maharaj acquires exalted qualities like him. For anyone who desires greatness, prowess, or influence, here is the process by which to acquire them. Here is the process. And for thoughtful men who want adoration, here is the proper means like that. So yeah, can you go little down, Prabhu, little down? So it is in the fourth canto, Prabhupada was telling this. If you go to the sixth canto also, there is another philosophy. Can you come down, Prabhu, down? Yeah, so yeah, here also you can see that, wait a minute, Prabhu, wait a minute. Yeah, so my dear sons of king, just execute your occupational duty as kings with a pure heart. Just chant this prayer, fixing your mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. That will bring you all good fortune, for the Lord will be very much pleased with you. So I mean, this link I have actually seen. This gives the reference in all the places of Bhagavatam where all this Falashruti is there. It is there in the sixth canto, eighth canto, 10th canto, like that. There are so many places. So the point is that if somebody just hears Srimad Bhagavatam, then there is no need of anything else. Like one time Prabhupada was asked that, my dear Prabhupada, my dear Gurudev, uh, when chanting is the essence of all the religious principles, then why have you taken so much labor and endeavor to write Srimad Bhagavatam day in and day out? So Prabhupada was telling that I have written all the literatures for one reason, that is to convince you to chant the holy names of Lord. So although the chanting is basically the essence of all the religious principles, but to get the conviction to chant, one will have to read Srimad Bhagavatam. One will have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because the more one hears it, the more one gets the taste in chant the holy names of the Lord. So these are all like very intertwined process. So the more one hears the Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, to get the taste to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, one again has to render service to the devotees. So that is the key. So if somebody renders service to the devotees nicely, then they will get a taste to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Somebody hears the Srimad Bhagavatam very attentively, then they will get a very firm attachment to Krishna and to the devotees and chanting the holy names. And again, when somebody chants the holy names, he is asking for service, he'll get more service. And when somebody does the service nicely, he'll get a taste for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a very nice cycle. So everything starts when somebody starts associating with devotees, render some small service, everything will fall in place. So this Falashruti, so you all can probably go through this link, because there are a lot of references, one after another, So that will give a very great conviction to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, Prabhu, can you go to the next link, Prabhu? Next link, the hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So that is there are three things. One is Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. So Sambandha means to develop the relation between us and Srimad Bhagavatam. Second thing is Abhideya. Abhideya means the process to attain the goal. And the goal is also mentioned. So we have discussed about the goal, the phala. But this is the second thing, that is Abhideya. So hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, so this link actually gives where all Prabhupada mentions that one needs to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and with great emphasis. Prabhupada has actually, many of the purports Prabhupada writes it. Just like you see this first one. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed that when one becomes purified by executing the process of devotional service, especially by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from realized souls, then he can understand the signs of Krishna or signs of God. So this is very important. Yeah, can you go to the little down, Prabhu? Little down. Yeah, wait, Prabhu. Yeah, Supreme Personality directly by hearing. Okay. The intelligent person with thoughtful discretion can be assured by the great sage Vyasadeva that he can realize the Supreme Lord directly by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam without undergoing the different stages of realization set forth in the Vedas. One can be lifted immediately to the position of Paramahamsas simply by agreeing to receive this message. So this is so many times we hear that lift example, right? So if there is a 100-story building, one may climb the stairs, or one can directly get into the lift and then directly go there. So Srimad Bhagavatam is one such process. Directly, once when somebody regularly hears it, then automatically things will automatically somehow moves into the place in such a way that the love for Krishna is developing like that. So, but only thing is, one has to be non-assuming. One has to be, without any ulterior motives, with submission. If somebody eagerness, with the great eagerness, submission. If somebody hears it, then the Bhagavatam works like magic. It'll work so very instantaneously. Yeah. So yeah, here yeah. Can you go little down, Prabhu? So this link is also very very eye opening actually. I mean, when I was reading through all the references, so many places Prabhupada was simply emphasizing on hearing Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. So I would recommend all the devotees. So please go through this link as well, because we've shared that in the chat. Yeah. So Prabhu, now can you share the second verse, Prabhuji? Second verse. Yeah. 30. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Aspasta kirti suyasa murkho bhavati panditaha idam swastyayanam pumsam amangalya nivaranam. Yeah. Aspasta kirti, unmanifested reputation. So Yashaha, very famous, Murkaha, illiterate, Bhavati becomes Panditaha, learned. Idam, this Swastyayanam, auspiciousness, Pumsam of the men, Amangalya, inauspiciousness, Nivaranam, prohibiting. Also, one who hears this narration 3 times will become very reputable if he is not recognized in society, and he will become a great scholar if he is illiterate. In other words, hearing of the narrations of Pṛthu Maharaj is so auspicious that it drives away all bad luck. In the material world, everyone wants some profit, some adoration, some reputation. By associating in different ways with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, one can very easily become opulent in every respect. Even if one is not known or recognized by society, he becomes very famous and important if he takes to devotional service and preaching. As far as education is concerned, one can become recognized in society as a great learned scholar simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, wherein the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees are described. This material world is full of dangers at every step, but a devotee has no fear because devotional service is so auspicious that it automatically counteracts all kinds of bad luck. Since hearing about Pṛthu Maharaj is one of the items of devotional service, Shravanam, naturally hearing about him brings all good fortune. So again, the same point Prabhupada is telling that, yeah, so if somebody wants the reputation, they can, very much, hear the Pṛthu Charitra, and somebody wants to drive away all the bad luck, then this is the wonderful process. Because in this world we see many places people are so fond of the good luck. They do many things to get the good luck. So they are very much interested in Mother Lakshmi, who is putting in her hand all the coins are coming down. that particular photo is very famous everywhere you see, but they are not interested in Vishnu, whose lotus feet Mother Lakshmi is always serving. So Mother Lakshmi is called Chanchala. Chanchala means she never stays in one place, but she always stays in one place, that is at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So instead of worshipping Mother Lakshmi, if somebody worship Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, then Mother Lakshmi will automatically be there. That is the meaning of having the good fortune always. So if somebody is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, what happens is, uh, so Lord tells that I am not staying in the yogis' hearts. I am not staying, in Vaikuntha. Rather, I am staying in the places where my devotees get together and then they hear my glories. So that is the place. That it's a powerful place where the realization of the Lord can happen. In the Bhagavatam also, Prabhupada tells that there are three people who gets benefit in the association of devotees: somebody who is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, somebody who is hearing it, somebody who is just sitting it in the audience. So all these three people get benefit just by being in association and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is such a important process, and this is the most important process. Like there are 9 processes we all know: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So any one process, if somebody develops a very fond of that one process, then that one process can actually deliver that person. It's not that one may have to do all of them. If somebody can do it, that's best. Just like Amrish Maharaj has done all the limbs, how he engaged. Um, what is that shloka, Prabhu? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo vachansi Vaikuntha gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjanado shrutim chakara chuta satkatodaya mukunda lingalaya darshane drusha vadbhrutya gatram sparshenga sangama dhranam cha tatpada saroja saurabe श्रीमत्तुलस्य रसनाम तदर्पितम पादौ हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरौ हृषीकेश पादानुवंदने कामं च दास्यं न तु कामकाम्ये yaduttama shloka. There is a last one. So how he actually engages every sense in the Lord's service. So somebody can do that, or somebody can develop a very fondness for one particular process out of this 9. Then the life will become perfect. So again, I was hearing on another lecture where why this is so very important is because this actually sets the right goal. See, when the goal is fixed, then the mind will be fixed. When the goal is wavering, mind will be wavering automatically. So the goal has to be fixed so that the things around that goal will be centered. So if the goal keeps changing, so one day my goal is Krishna, another day my goal is material happiness, another day my goal is something else, then the mind will be very very agitated in that scenario. So the goal has to be fixed, and in order to fix that goal, one has to regularly read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because the same point again and again and again it's hammered in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the same we can see when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, the same kind of slokas come, same kind of prayers by the devotees comes again and again and again. Why? Because that's very much important, because of the Kali Yuga Jivas. For us, actually, it is the more emphasis on the repetition is very much given. The shloka is Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva Gatiranyana. Why 3 times? Somebody may very easily ask. Why 3 times? Because the Kali Yuga Jivas are very Manda Sumanda Matayo. Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyo Upadhrita. So they are very lazy and they don't have a brain substance, and they are devoid of all good fortune. So in that is why it is very much emphasized to stick to this one particular literature, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the first 3 shlokas also, that gives a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam. First 3 shlokas of Bhagavatam. The Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditratashyardeshu. That shloka tells the Sambandha Jnana, the Lord who is actually residing in the spiritual world, that place which is completely devoid of all the illusion. to that particular Lord, let me offer my humble obeisances. Let me be the eternal servitor of that. And the second shloka tells the process, that is, sadhyo hridyavarajyate prakritivi sushrushubi. Sushrushubi is the process. By hearing that Bhagavatam regularly, that is a process. And the third thing is nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukhad amrita drava samyutam vivata bhagavatam rasamale muhuraho rasika bhavibhavaka. This is the goal. So the rasika bhaktas, they always want to be in the texts. They want high always. They want to be in high always. So people, just for a spike of high, they do so many things in the life. But the rasika bhaktas are the ones who are always on the high. So because they're addicted to that high, they just cannot come down, and they always want that high. That is why they keep reciting Bhagavad. So that is the prayojan of the reciting Srimad Bhagavad. Yeah. So Prabhu, I think it's already 8:51. Yeah. So should we stop here, Prabhuji, or?
It's up to you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. So in that case, yeah. Okay. So we'll go through the purport. Yeah. So everybody wants profit, recognition, and everything. So what happens is, like, that's what, if somebody really understands it, although they may want it, that will eventually be purified, and then the real happiness that dawns in that. This material world is full of dangers at every step, but a devotee has no fear, because devotional service is so auspicious that it automatically counteracts all kinds of bad luck. So this is indeed a one-stop solution. So so many stotras, so many, the same, so many places, different rituals, all these is there. But if somebody wants to be very simple, they'll just stick to Srimad Bhagavatam. Like when somebody was telling that if somebody cannot explain the subject in a very simple manner, that means that he did not understand the subject only. So that's what somebody was telling. So Bhagavatam is like that. So no need of hundreds and thousands of rituals everywhere and make the life so complicated. Not required. Let's just stick to one simple, scripture, yet powerful. Although it's simple, it's complete and it's profound. This one particular Bhagavatam is more than sufficient. If somebody can just read it, that's more than sufficient. So it actually, it is a great mercy of the Lord. That was told in Srimad Bhagavatam also. As soon as the Lord descended to the world from the earth planet, then along with Lord, Dharma and Jnana both actually followed Lord. But what was the solution that is given for the Kali Yuga people in this age of darkness to get the enlightenment is to actually take the light of Srimad Bhagavatam, which arisen like a sun. So that is told in Srimad Bhagavatam in the first canto. So that is why it's very important to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. And yeah, so I think Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Prabhu, I think it's 8:55, Prabhu. Then I think we can stop here. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class, and it was nectarian today. Like we started with what are the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, what are the benefits that we get. Like basically you covered all these three things: Sambandha, Vijaya, Prayojana, and you have mentioned how rendering the devotional service, how Srimad Bhagavatam, how it is useful for the liberated souls, how it is useful for the practitioners, and how it is useful for the materialistic people. And you have three things, like all people gets benefited by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. You mentioned that recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, they get benefited. Hearers of the Srimad Bhagavatam, they get benefited. Even if we sitting just in the audience, so they also get benefited. And at the end, you nicely said that when the goal is fixed, then mind gets fixed, and all activities will run around that goal. Otherwise, mind gets confused and it does not know what to do, so it wanders everywhere. You're nicely covered, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot for the wonderful classes. And devotees lines are unmuted now, so they can unmute and ask any questions or any comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It was a wonderful class. So many shlokas you have quoted, and through which we can understand. And one important thing you have made is, if we don't understand, then we cannot simplify and we can't tell others also. So this was really touching to me, Prabhuji. Then I understood that I did not understand anything. So that is why I'm not able to apply nor able to preach also properly. Then really, I was thinking we have to set our goals, as you are told. Really, Prabhuji, I really very much impressed about these words. Like, if we don't set our goals, we never can improve in our life. And Prabhu, I had one doubt, Prabhuji. Can I ask Prabhu? I don't know, might be it is very silly for you, but for me, I have to get that answer, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhu. Prabhu, this one, according about the preaching you're telling, everybody we have to preach. Like in the ISKCON moment, usually they will give so much of stress for the preaching. We have to learn and we have to preach. But very dull people like me, how we can preach, Prabhu? We don't understand Srimad Bhagavad Gita properly, nor Srimad Bhagavatam properly, nor able to pronounce all the shlokas, or nor able to memorize properly. But when we want, when somebody says, no, you have to start preaching, then how we have to take it, Prabhu? Because one of the lecture I have heard, like Srila Prabhupada is one of the disciples, don't remember the name. So he was very scared, and he doesn't know how to preach in some of the Western world. So he was just hearing Srila Prabhupada's lecture, and the same thing he was repeating. So I was thinking, at least they know, they have been with Srila Prabhupada, and he was hearing, he was understanding, and only thing is he doesn't know to tell, so he was hearing and telling. But people like me, we don't understand most of the things. We don't 100% follow everything what is there in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Only thing what we follow is the 4 regulative principles. That too materially, but spiritually, to apply that in our life, like no meat eating, we will think, okay, meat we should not eat, or not hurt somebody. But in the mind also, we should not hurt somebody. That to apply in our life, it takes such a long time to understand and imply in our life, Prabhu. So if you please guide me, Prabhuji, I really require your guidance.
Mother, you already told the answer already. So Mother, it is said that teach one while being taught by one. So just like the mother who just given a birth, she doesn't know how to take care of the baby. So what she does, from her mother, she actually learns, and then she takes care of the baby. Correct. So most of the times we are also in the same way, Mataji. We may not know many things. We may not know shlokas and everything, but we know one thing. That is what? Chant and be happy. We have to. Chanting is the goal of our Vedic literature, right? That one thing we know, right? So whatever we learn, we'll try to preach. So you are telling that sometimes I may not be practicing. How can I preach? So actually, there needs to be an element of repentance should be there, Mati. So yes, I am not following because I don't have the strength to follow that thing. But one thing I am sure, that if I assist the devotees in their service, Lord will be pleased, and Lord will give me the strength to follow. So although I may not be following, but I am repenting for that. Why I should not follow? Because I don't have the strength. But the thing is, we should not be just morose about it, Mati. We should not be just sad that, oh, I am not able to follow. How can I preach like that? Rather, we need to get some enthusiasm to assist the devotees in their service. Then, when Lord please, Lord will give the strength to follow that rules, Mati. At that time, Lord will give all the facilities. He will give the good buddhi, good everything. He'll give so that we will be able to do the service nicely. So actually, these all very interconnected, Mataji. So yes, we may not be very pure. We may not know many things. We may not we may not have so many skills to preach so many things. But one thing we should have, that is enthusiasm to preach, Mataji. If we simply have that enthusiasm, that desire, my dear Lord, I simply want to help others. I simply want to preach, but I don't have any knowledge, any skills like that. Lord, from the heart, He'll give everything, Mataji. Okay, so that one thing we should have is the desire. That when the desire and enthusiasm is there, then everything will automatically falls in place. Okay, so yes, we may not be knowing, but still we have to engage in that preaching work, because that will please Prabhupada, that will please the Vaishnavas, and most importantly, it will please Krishna. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that if somebody tries to disseminate this knowledge to others, then there is no person more dear to me than him. So although we are not pure, we are not. Sometimes we have difficulty in following. Still, if we kind of repent and then do the engage in the service, then eventually we will get purified, and Lord will give the strength to overcome that obstacles, Mataji. So and the verses shlokas, Mataji, that's what. So see, it's actually very important, very nice if somebody knows the shlokas. Why? Because shloka is something that which removes the shoka from the heart. So it is said that if somebody learns the shlokas, that will remove the shoka from the heart, like that. So when we learn the shlokas, our mind is fixed, and we can be more. We can preach to others also the same shloka, and we can implement, contemplate on this. So many things will happen. We try as much as we can. Lord sees the efforts, right? Many times we hear, Lord just sees the effort, how much you are putting. He can make so anybody, Lord touches, they'll become a great Vaishnavas. So we just have to desire, and then Lord's will. Yeah, that's it, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very wonderful points you have quoted. Thank
Please
you
pray
very much.
for me, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Definitely, Prabhuji. And you also please keep all of us in your prayers, Prabhu. Hare
Hare Krishna, Sankarshan.
Yeah.
Gaurachandra Gopal.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Prabhu, sorry. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yes,
Prabhu, this is a wonderful session you did, Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the last paragraph, when you are reading it, devotional service is auspicious, that is automatically counteracts all kinds of bad luck.
Correct.
But still, in the devotee's life, we see that a lot of problems, calamities do come.
Yes.
So how do we reconcile this, or how do we understand this?
That's what, Prabhu. So from my understanding, I can say, Prabhu, that see, there is when somebody is in Lord's hands, when somebody is sincerely following, there is no bad luck at all, because that. So sometimes we hear an example that if there is a shirt is there, the shirt has all the buttons and all the designs, everything, but on the other side of the shirt, it's only zigzag. The design back, it's only zigzag is there. So many times when the problems comes, the people see the other side of the shirt, and they get very puzzled and bewildered. Why so much zigzag in my life? Why so much? All the things are very much zigzag. But on the other side of the shirt, there is a nice design that's happening. So many times, that should be rest assured that as soon as somebody, is in the devotional service, Lord will take complete charge of them. So whatever happens in their life, that is for their ultimate good only. So that conviction needs to be there. And we have heard also, like, some of the sannyasis, they were telling that although there are so many difficulties one go through, but at the end, when somebody gets a taste in Bhagavatam and chanting, then they will be grateful for all the things that had happened in the life earlier, no matter how much worse that might have been at that particular point of time. They will be grateful for that situation also, because that led them to come to this point right now. So similarly, if somebody just sticks to it, to the path, then they may not realize right now that why this is a good luck for me, why Lord is giving this situation in a nice, although I may not understand, but if I'm just sticking to it, have faith in Krishna, sincere, then eventually there is a time comes when we will become grateful for what had happened before. So there is no bad luck at all for the devotees. The devotees, they are completely, taken care by Krishna. So there is no, it may appear for the material vision that it may be kind of bad luck, but that is not the bad luck. That's what is required for the devotee at that point of time. So that was my understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, this process.
Hare Krishna, Sankarshan Prabhu. Wonderful class, Prabhu.
Haribol,
Thank
Prashad.
you. Thank you.
Please pray for me,
Wonderful
Prabhu. Correct.
You are blessed, Prabhu.
Yeah.
And
Hare Krishna.
Carry on, Prabhu. Carry on, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
As you have told, no, Prabhu, I think by reading Srimad Bhagavatam again and again and hearing to it, it will increase our confidence, and we know that Krishna is with us, and we can face the situations much better. Even if it is a big stone, it is like a small this thing.
Yeah, correct. I mean, that one example I was hearing in the same regard, Mataji, that just like there is a 50-story building, 100-story building is there. If I see the building from the ground floor, just outside the ground floor, it will be so big. But if the same building will become like a matchbox when I go in the aeroplane and see the building, right? So the building size doesn't change, but the altitude of the person is changed. So similarly, the altitude of consciousness, the more it becomes broader and wider, then the things of the world, the problems of the world becomes very minute. So that thing is there, man. Definitely. Thank you for your realization, man.
No, Prabhu. Prabhupada's quote also is there, no, Prabhu. A devotee always accepts his distress as minimized by God's mercy, although he would have to suffer many more times the suffering.
Correct. Yes,
Just-
Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful lecture, especially the glories of Bhagavatam, the references you have given. It's excellent, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Wonderful,
Mataji. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please pray for me, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We will end the class with
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class and also for the wonderful questions that devotees asked and the wonderful replies that you have mentioned. And in between, like you mentioned, when somebody asked Prabhupada, why, I mean, essence is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but why are you putting so much endeavor to write so many books? But that is for us to convince that, like, that is the only essence. That is the wonderful point that
Yes,
I
yes,
should take to my heart, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful.